Squid Game. Okay. First thing I like about the show, the first season of the show, uh, it makes me more curious about learning South Korean history, specifically about like class struggle, because that seems like a really important theme. Clearly, the only Korean stuff I've seen is very little. People who've watched the channel, I've seen Kingdom, Train to Busan, Old Boy, of course, and Parasite. But Parasite in this show show me that clearly that's a topical issue out there. And of course, it would be anywhere. Of course, like people living hard knock lives. I'm reading Charles Dickens' big theme, class struggle. But there's something about this show, like the lengths that this show goes to, I'll just put it that way, and the lengths that a movie like Parasite goes to remind you of that. Very, they stick out a lot to me, and it makes me want to read. There's a book I read a little bit of. I think I was 23 when I read it. New Koreans by I don't remember the person's name. I think it's Michael something. I'm definitely gonna find that book in my local library and then just read through it. Or read as much of it as I can because I'm lazy as heck. Second thing I like about the show, it's not too much plot armor. It doesn't mean the show's not doesn't have plot armor. I'll get to that. This is one of my flaws. But I feel like in the show, without spoiling anything, I'll just say 10. There's an episode specifically that shows that a lot of the characters in the show can smart their way out of situations, even if they can't naturally get out of certain things. And it makes sense when they adapt to certain thing or they think on their feet, because this show establishes from early on almost every character in the show at a base level has a very vague knowledge of what's in front of them, of a situation in front of them, without giving too much away. And even if they don't, you have reasonable answers of why they can think on their feet in certain situations. And then if they don't think on their feet, then it shows that too. And I like that. It wasn't like a if it was Hollywood, any American, British, this would not end in the same way. It would probably end in a much more annoying plot armory way for certain characters in certain situations. And I like that a lot about the show. It wasn't like a Sherlock Holmes type character who just thought of a genius thing, but it didn't make sense outside of the fact that they may be the protagonist, someone you're rooting for, the underdog. Do you know if that makes sense? Again, not perfect. I'll get to that, but this show made it clear that it wasn't going to be hardcore plot armor. Still has some though. I'll get to that. Third thing I like about this show, I like a lot of the original instrumentation, the music. I don't know if I call it like score, because as far as I know, wasn't scored. It probably was, but I just wasn't paying attention. I got like a really eerie vibe sometimes, and it was on purpose sometimes to like reminds you of the dread. This show does a good job of reminding you of like the dread and the fear. Very personal fear. Very like a fight or flight type of fear. Like that makes your heart beat. But it also just felt weird throughout. But I couldn't always put my finger on why, and I think the music has something to do with it. Like the very beginning points to something that should remind you of innocence, but is used to as a device to do many adult things. I just put it that way. Another thing I liked, the plot twists. There were not too many um plot twists in this show. Don't get me wrong, it's not like a Game of Thrones type thing. But there was some that I could see coming, and when I saw them coming, I loved that I could telegraph it from how many meters, how many miles away. I love that about one of the plot twists in the show that I predicted. One I definitely didn't see coming. That was near the end. I was like, whoa. I didn't. I don't even understand. But I guess it makes sense the more I think about it. But I still have questions. And then there was one that I didn't see coming, and I'm actually still confused about. And I think I had to do a bit more thinking into it. Maybe I had to rewatch certain scenes, but I'm not entirely sure how it even makes sense personally. Yeah, I'm not sure at all. But I like the plot twist in the show. I just put it that way. Again, I can't give away too much without getting into spoilers. Um, there's a dude in this show who is gives me Star Wars prequels Anakin vibes, not because he's annoying as heck. No, that's not the reason, but it's just because you can smell the betrayal coming. So this is like he's looking at people like, eventually Judas is coming. Uh, what else? Let me look at my notes quickly. Anything else I liked about this show? Yeah, that's it basically. I like that. I'm glad I gave the show a shot because I was afraid it was gonna be Game of Thrones syndrome, I didn't, where I thought it was overrated because people kept hyping it up so much in so many different podcasts and stuff I was watching. I kept seeing reviews for it. I was just, uh, I'm glad this show was. It made me feel good watching it, but I don't even care to recommend it. I'm just doing this review to give my thoughts, and obviously for views and get people watching. Last thing, this is the flaw. Plot armor. This show does have plot armor in ways I don't like. I can't get specific again without spoiling. I'll say that I don't understand how certain things for a certain amount of time have been the way they are in this world where things take I can't say. I don't understand how things have been like this in this world for this amount of time without semi-important people or important people investigating certain things. It doesn't completely make sense to me. That's the best way I can put it. And I'm afraid I might have spoilt it. I don't think I did. I don't think I gave away what I'm on about. Um, but you would have to watch the show to find out. Overall, guys, I did like the show. If you have watched it, tell me what you think. If you haven't, let me know your thoughts. If you're considering watching it, or you just think it's another one of those overhyped shows you hear about. I thought that before I watched it, but to be honest, I don't really care if people watch it or not. This is like there's so many shows I'm watching that I know for facts they won't get the credit they deserve until 5 to 10 years from now, where I'll probably move on to something else. Um, that's it, guys. Tell me your thoughts down below. Comment, press that like button if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. The button's right there. Click. Other than that, guys, signing off. Salute.